Hey, Dr. Zero Trust, Chase Cunningham, back on another session or podcast or whatever. Anyway, it's Friday, the 27th of June, almost July 4th, my favorite holiday of the year. Let's go get into the cyber stuff because, man, it's been a busy week. And just to be overt, I'm going to tell you some stuff about some companies out here, and hopefully you're open to thinking beyond the normal sort of bounds of like, well, these companies make money, because there's questions we should ask. Anyway, let's look at this Norwegian dam hack, because that sounds super awesome. It's always nice to hear about a dam being compromised. This is from Clarity. Cyber attack on Norwegian dam highlights password exposure risks. April compromise of a control system at a Norwegian dam and fish farm demonstrates the fragile nature of the technology guarding our critical infrastructure and how a routine exposure can disrupt or damage critical services. Yeah, we know this, but let's go deeper. In this case, attackers compromised a weak password and were able to manipulate valves at the Lake Rizavatnet. Anyway, look that up, opening them all the way, causing an increase in water discharge of 497 liters per second above the mandated minimum flow. That's not good. The attack went undetected for 4 hours, but did not cause physical damage. However, that's fucking scary. The breach underscores a key truth for security and risk leaders. It's not always the sophisticated attacks that cause the most disruptions. It's the simple overlooked exposures. Sounds familiar. Remote access, authentication, hygiene, and clear ownership of cyber physical systems should be routine agenda items. Yup, not reactive conversations. So let's look at the details of the hack here. The initial point of entry of the attack was a web accessible control panel that managed the valve responsible for the dam's minimum water flow. With that compromise, the attackers were able to bypass authentication controls and gain access to the OT environment. Not good. Despite there being no threat to public safety from this particular event, let's just table that. This incident should serve as a wake-up call for critical infrastructure providers worldwide, like we haven't already had a bunch of wake-up calls. In the U.S., for example, where more than 92,000 dams form a core part of critical infrastructure, the stakes could be much higher. This wasn't a high-tech exploit. This was logging in. It was a case of insufficient access controls. What happened at the Norwegian dam mirrors what can be observed in all kinds of critical facilities worldwide. Internet-exposed devices and smart building control systems without modern protections are very prevalent. Today, more than 23,000, weird, I'm putting words there, building automation connected systems can be found in a Shodan search. Actually, I was going to do that because I just haven't ever looked for dams. Let me just go look at Shodan and see what I can find around dams. If I can type Shodan.io, so let's go into Shodan, one of my favorite sites in the universe, because I can find all kinds of juicy stuff and do my login. And let's just literally look for the word dam, like not the curse word, the word for, this stuff. And I can't show this because I'm doing, okay, look, I threw in dam, the word dam, 1695. Let's go look at United States. And then let's look for weird ports, because that's usually the easiest giveaway that there's something we wouldn't want available there. Is there any 3389? Yes, there are. Let's look at that real quick. 3389, remote desktop protocol, on dams. Let's see, SSL certificates that are available. Flint Hill, Phoenix, Smyrna, Windows 10. Oh, Windows 6.3. That's a really fucking old one. Dam demo, dam. Yep. Okay, let's go back one more and look if there's any other. Ooh, port 22. Well, gosh, what could we do with port 22? Yeah, how many? These 167 of these. Ooh, looky there. There's an RSA key. That's how hard it was for me to find an RSA key, folks. Just clicking around. And I've got 167 of them. Now, okay, most of them open SSH. That's even better. And they give me the keys. I'm looking at 167 of them right now. Let's just look at the that are tied to this. And this is what bad guys do. This is not hard to do. Okay. I'm going to see if there's anything that directly goes to like the word damn. No, it looks like these are all hosting service things in front of it, but that's just fine. If I was a bad guy, I could do other things with this. SSH. Now, drop bear is something that we know is pretty vulnerable. And SSH is definitely vulnerable too. 27 Linux, 16 Ubuntu, and 2 Debian. Just for the hell of it, I want to look at this drop bear and see what's there. And some of these could be, honeypots or whatever. Maybe this one's drop bear. Yep, there's the RSA key. Yeah, not good. Just because this is interesting, I'm going to go and do one more little poking around. Look at the strangest port that we can find here, because usually there's really good stuff behind really weird ports that somebody wouldn't want you looking at. 320 80 23. Let's go look. There's some 21s in here. That's not a really strange port, but okay, just for the hell of it, let's just see. Oh, okay. So paper company, warehouse, FTP server, login not required. That's how hard it is. I mean, come on, man. Um, let's go back and take away the US and see what we can find internationally, because that's also very interesting too. I mean, again, the point I'm trying to make here is this is how difficult this stuff is. I'm going to go look for the organizations, the products. We got some cloud first stuff. We got Apache, Big IP, Nginx. Looks like the oldest Windows is 6.3. That's the one I was talking about earlier. Let's look at the organizations. Let's see. Hosting. Some stuff in the Emirates. That's interesting. And going a little further down into this, there's some Cloudflare things. Shanghai, probably don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Oh, look, here's an actual IP address with the /16 behind it. So super awesome for them. Fiber, DigitalOcean. Yeah, so any one of these could be very useful if you were trying to do bad things on a dam. And I just want to see if we look at real quickly, last one I'll do here, just because let's just look for, okay, there's 27 global 3389 ports that are out there talking. Let's just see if any of them are totally misconfigured, totally just talking to the internet and doing things that we wouldn't want them to do. Berkey burr, come on, Linux, or catch up with me here. And let's see, big IP, okay, fine, whatever. Looks like, yep, 28 of these SSL certs. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. This is in India. Self-signed certificate, RDP enabled, Windows 10, and it is definitely tied to something administrative for a system that manages dams. Here's another one in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, Henk van Dam, Henk van Dam, and Hootsen Kleiding, whatever the hell that means. But there we go. Windows 11. This is back office, is what it literally says in the BIOS. Yep, there you go. That's how difficult it would be for me to go off and target a dam. So there you go, right? And that's critical infrastructure stuff, and that's global. Yeah. OT security should be proactive, not reactive. Exposure management. I mean, I just literally proved how simple that is. So there you go. Like, that's the state of critical infrastructure. And it's 2025, by the way. Retail giant, a hold delays. Didn't know what that is. Says data breach affects 2.2 million people. We'll see if they're publicly traded in a minute. So a hold delays. One of the world's largest food retail chains is notifying 2.2 million individuals that their personal, financial, and health information was stolen in November ransomware attack. Well, now I definitely want to see if these clowns are publicly traded. So let's just go search and look for that. Are they publicly traded? Let's just see if they are. Yes, they are. $41 share. Let's go look at the last year. Oh, they're up all the way. So, yeah, not a buy the breach opportunity necessarily. The multinational retailer and wholesale company operates 9,400 local stores across Europe, the United States, and Indonesia, employs 393,000 people, and serves 60 million customers each week. It has reported yearly net sales of $104 billion last year, and it operates on a very wide range of brands, including Food Line. That's where I recognize it. Giant Food, Maxi, Mega Image, Albert, Gall and Profi, whatever those are in Europe. This issue and subsequent mitigating actions have affected certain hold delays U.S. brands. Okay, and a Thursday filing with Maine's Attorney General. Let's go look at that filing. The retail giant revealed that the attackers behind the November breach stole 2 million people's information. Why is they just now getting to this when it is fucking June? Let's see what here. So while it didn't confirm whether customers' information was also affected, it was. Let's just say that. A whole delay stated that the stolen files may have included internal employment records with personal information obtained while working with their different companies. Now, the data that was stolen is the typical bullshit that's stolen 100 times over. PII, financial stuff, banking information, health information, workers' comp stuff. That's a problem. And then here is a picture from the underground on the Inc. ransomware thing that basically said that they've got their information. Let's see. When asked to confirm that Inc. Ransom was behind the attack, Hold Delays told Bleeping Computer in April that attackers had stolen data from its U.S. businesses and didn't comment whether on the ransomware game was involved. So this pretty prolific ransomware group. Let's see what the filing looks like for. All right. So here's the Office of the Maine Attorney General, Salisbury, zip code. What? Breach information. All right, 2,242, 521 people. People in Maine, 95,463. And here's the notification. I'll have to go do some digging and find out where the K1 is for this, or excuse me, the Edgar database thing is, because this should definitely have shown up in there. Yeah, so if you're there, know that that's a problem. NSA's Patrick Ware takes over as top civilian at Cyber Command. Maybe this is a good thing. I'm not intimately familiar with Patrick Ware, but let's read a little further here. Yes, go away with your cookie bullshit. Yes, I accept your fucking cookies. Okay. NSA's Patrick Ware takes over as top civilian at U.S. Cyber Command. Patrick Ware, senior executive SES at the National Security Agency, is named the new top civilian leader at U.S. Cyber Command with a 34-year NSA veteran. Oh, thank God. Replaces Morgan Adamski as the command's executive director, the number 3 spot at the military's digital warfighting organization, traditionally held by NSA official on loan to Cyber Command. There's a weird dual hat thing that goes on there. Politico first reported that Adamski, who assumed the role last June, intended to leave the command. Sources say Adamski, who previously served as director of the NSA's Cybersecurity Collaboration Center, is expected to move into the private sector, where he'll get fucking paid. Ware comes aboard at a critical time for Cyber Command, which has been without permanent chief since Air Force General Timothy Haw was abruptly fired nearly 3 months ago, along with his deputy. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the dude that uses Signal for, sharing all the information, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard had chosen Army Lieutenant General Richard Engel to helm the command of the spy agency, but he was rejected by the White House for unknown reasons. According to sources familiar with the matters, asked to remain anonymous. Meanwhile, the plan to revamp Cyber Command, dubbed Cyber Command 2.0, oh, they should just call it Next Gen, because everybody's Next Gen, is itself undergoing an overhaul, and many observers suspect the effort will eventually be scrapped altogether. Oh, that's super. And in his new role, Ware will help steer strategic initiatives to advance Cyber Command capabilities. A bachelor's degree in 94 in EE. He was at Auburn, U of M, and Johns Hopkins master's degree in EE. Yeah, cool. At least this guy is a 34 plus year or 30 some year plus NSA civilian. He probably knows his shit. So we'll see where that goes. Cyber Scoop. Many data brokers aren't registered across state lines. An analysis of 4 states with data broker registry laws found that hundreds of brokers are registered as such in one state, but not in others. Now, gosh, why would they do that? I thought, like, if we put rules in place that said that this electron shall not pass this fucking paper border that we have, that you can't do that. Like, is this even possible in this world of laws that say thou shalt not do things in the electronic sphere? Let's get deeper, because I don't see how this could possibly happen. Hundreds of companies registered as data brokers in one U.S. state are not recognized as such in other states with similar disclosure laws, according to a new analysis by the Privacy Rights Clearinghouse and the EFF. The country has a data broker problem, with few meaningful laws, yes, at the federal or state level to curb the mass collection of resale of Americans' data. These brokers are typically third-party companies that mine the internet, buy customer data from other businesses, and otherwise acquire information on hundreds of thousands or millions of Americans with whom they've never directly done business. Yep. But before policymakers can rein in the practice, they must first classify the offending companies. Well, they would have to understand something about how all this shit works to do that. The federal government has no legal definition for what constitutes a data broker. There you go. That's why I tell people privacy is fucking bullshit and it doesn't matter, and just give up. In the absence of states like California, Texas, Oregon, and Vermont have passed their own laws requiring data brokers in their state to register and provide further information. Super great, whatever. But an analysis by EFF and Privacy Rights Clearinghouse identified hundreds of companies, let me say like hundreds of companies that are registered as data brokers in one of those states, but not in others. And those figures likely only scratch the surface of the gap, as there are likely numerous shady companies that don't take the steps to register in any states. Totally yes. And this is a quote from the report. This analysis only includes companies that register in at least one state. It does not capture data brokers that completely disregarded state laws by failing to register in any other state. A total of 750 data brokers have registered in at least one state, while harder to find shady data brokers who have failed to register anywhere should remain a primary enforcement target. A primary enforcement target of who? Of what? Of which agency? The U.S. National Privacy agency? Like who? They also provided a spreadsheet, which I'm going to get, detailing hundreds of businesses across the 4 state, links to privacy and collection policies, blah, blah, blah. The authors aren't claiming these companies are breaking the law, even though they kind of are, but the laws are really stupid. So, okay. Some of those discrepancies may stem from the different ways states legally define a data broker. Again, there's no federal thing. California defines the term as any business that, quote, knowingly collects and sells to third parties the personal information of a consumer with whom the business does not have a direct relationship. Texas, however, law says, and I quote, whose principal source of revenue is derived from the collecting, processing, or transferring of personal data that the entity did not collect directly from the individual. Oregon law says this, and this is a quote, that collects or sells, licenses, brokered personal data to any other person. And then Vermont covers by saying, quote, knowingly collects and sells or licenses to third parties the brokered personal information of a consumer with whom the business does not have a direct relationship. And this is just a quote on the states. All 4 states have numerous and sometimes differing exceptions for certain businesses. Quote, there are variations that could require a company to register in one state, not another, almost like there's no clear fucking standard. Quote, to take one example, a data broker registered in Texas that only brokers the data of Texas residents would not be legally required to register in California. Luckily, electrons obey those lines we draw on a map, so there's not a problem there. To take another, this is a quote, a data broker that registered with Vermont in 2020 that then changed its business model is no longer a broker would not have to do so again in 2025. Here's a quote from the people that did this research. Our analysis is based on a straightforward premise. Data brokers that self-identify as such by registering in other states or those who registered in any state in previous years may have obligations to register in California if they meet statutory definition, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, there is no clarity. There is no agency running this. There is no defined standard, and there is no specific protections for organizations or individuals in this context. And all the stuff they're talking to us about privacy and whatever else is horseshit. Electrons don't obey those boundaries. The companies that use this information, that resell this information, are not playing by the rules because the rules don't really make a lot of sense and there's no way to enforce them. So anytime that you're worried about privacy, just quit worrying about it. It's already fucked. Like your stuff is already out there. It's being resold. It's being reshared. It's being reused. It's too late. Privacy died with the internet. Don't pay for that stuff because it's a ripoff. That's my 2 cents. But here's the proof. Like, go read through this stuff and figure it out for yourself and look what's going on. None of it makes any sense. And if it's not making sense and it's not enforceable and it's not technically doable, then it's dumb and we shouldn't be concerned about it because there's no fix. There is no fix for privacy. That's just what it is. I'm sorry. Now, here's a buy the breach opportunity. Hawaiian Airlines hit by cybersecurity incident, and this is as of today. Hawaiian Airlines has been hit by a cybersecurity incident impacting some of its IT systems. Keep that word in mind. The U.S. Airlines disclosed the cybersecurity incident in 2 updates posted on its website. The company said it's taken steps to safeguard operations and that flights are operating safely as scheduled. Cool. As we navigate the ongoing event, we remain in contact with the appropriate experts and federal authorities, is what they said on their website. An earlier statement stated that the airline is working towards an orderly restoration, suggesting the systems were taken offline. No information has been given on the nature of the event or whether any customer data has been affected. It has. It has. Just start the clock. In a statement to Reuters, the FAA said it is in contact with Hawaiian Airlines. Great. In 2024, it was announced that Hawaiian Airlines had been acquired by Alaska Airlines with plans to try and to allow the companies to operate together. Hawaiian incident comes less than 2 weeks after Canada's second largest airline, WestJet, was attacked as well. Now, is it possible that WestJet and Hawaiian Airlines somehow share connections back and forth, and perhaps there's a way to pivot laterally within one compromised network and move to another? I'm just thinking here, right? In August 2024, a cyber attack on SeaTac Airport resulted in significant disruption. It was later revealed that the attack was ransomware related, conducted by the Resida gang, who were able to access parts and ports on computer systems and encrypt some data. So let's go look at the stock price for Hawaiian Airlines because I'm betting they're publicly traded. I'm really hoping because this would be probably a good buy the breach opportunity. Stock, $18 a share. Let's go look at what it says right here on the NASDAQ. They're on the NASDAQ, not on the other side. So Hawaiian, $18 a share. Let's go look at like, I don't know, 1 year. Oh yeah, they're way up. So stand by. Get ready to do a buy the breach thing here. Do what I tell you. Like let it ride for the next 60 days, 70 days or so. Watch the stock take a dump, monitor, and then buy it on the low and get it when it bounces back. At their low point, they were about about $17. So it's about $1 jump over the course of the year. But this is probably going to affect them and you'll be able to make some money on the far end. So there you go. Again, I'm not a smart person, not a certified financial planner, not very good looking, not very intelligent, and don't do what I tell you to do. However, do what I tell you to do. And I'm not licensed. So there you go. A cybersecurity awakening at the VA. This is fucking comical. Okay, so what VA data breach? When? May 2006. That was a long time ago. Why it matters. A VA employee's laptop was stolen and contained personal data on 26.5 million veterans, myself included. While the information was recovered, the incident highlighted data security challenges and led to major cybersecurity changes. Let's see. Nearly 2 decades ago, a breach involving the personal data of more than 26 million veterans served as a cybersecurity wake-up call for the Department of Veterans Affairs and the rest of the federal government. You know what? Since they said that, let's go just look at the Shodan thing real quick and just see if there's any, I don't know, like va.gov stuff that might be out there. Because I'm a veteran. I use the VA. Let's just see. va.gov. Dang, dang, dang. Here we go. Oh, I found 17 of them. 3 of them are RDP. Let's see. RDP, Microsoft Exchange, Cisco Systems, Windows 10, Windows 10. Let's go look at the RDP side because those are always very, very interesting. Okay, there you go. SSL stuff, Windows 10 build. Yep. And I saw some weird ports over here too. Different ports. Yeah, so there's those. I don't want to get these out there because I don't want to get myself in trouble. Okay. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna look at this particular port that doesn't make a lick sense. Oh, SMTP service. Okay. Yep. So that's how. Yeah. So the VA had a wake up call, but I can find that shit by just clicking around. Super. Let's see. The 2006 VA data breach wasn't your classic cybersecurity incident. In this case, a Department of Veteran Affairs employee took home a laptop and external hard drive containing the data on all living veterans. Burglars broke into the employee's home and stole the devices, whisking away an unencrypted hard drive. Unencrypted? Why the fuck would that even be allowed? Law enforcement go on to recover the devices, and federal investigators determined that none of the sensitive data was improperly assessed. Fishy. But while it didn't result in a data loss or involve nation state hackers or ransomware gangs, the theft became a landmark cybersecurity incident. Okay. The 2006 incident revealed startling lapses in internal breach notification process at the VA. The VA employee's laptop was stolen from their home in May, but while the employee immediately notified their superiors about the theft, the VA secretary is not informed about the incident until 2 weeks later. Congress and veterans impacted by the event were not notified until a week after that, so 3 full weeks after the stuff was stolen. The VA Inspector General's office found cybersecurity officials acted with, quote, indifference and little sense of urgency regarding what was considered one of the largest personal data breaches in the history of the computer age. Let's see, they didn't get back till June of 2006. They did forensics on it. The hard drive was not compromised, so that's kind of good, I guess, if you believe that. So managing to an edge. In December 2006, Congress passed the Veterans Benefits Healthcare and Information Technology Act. The law strengthens security posture at the VA, require the agency to report its progress to Congress. Great. It also accelerated the IT reorganization mentioned before. It elevated the CIO role to an assistant secretary position, giving the role the authority to oversee the VA's entire IT program. Don't know why that wasn't done before. The law also required all users of VA systems to comply with security policies, which is why now when I go to log into the VA, it's a fucking nightmare. Nearly 20 years later, no other federal agency CIO has the same level of authorities as the VA. Baker, who's the person they're talking about here, believes the 2006 incident was a missed opportunity to power top IT officials across government. Security over compliance. In June 2006, the Office of Management Budget, the same guys that were hacked because they put servers in China, just remember that, directed agencies to ensure they were encrypting devices, taking out of the workplace, and protecting data with two-factor authentication. Yeah. Congress mandated that VA laptops be encrypted going forward. The law required the VA to report on how it was complying with that incident. Yep. Mm-hmm. But cybersecurity remains on the Government Accountability Office's high-risk list due to persistent gaps in information security. Let's go look at the high-risk list. This is on GAO.gov. High-risk series, urgent action needed to address critical cybersecurity challenges facing the nation. Thank you for. I swear to God, I fucking hate cookies. Like I like to eat cookies. I just hate the internet ones. Oh gosh, what GAO found. You guys got to read this. How GAO did the study. Since 2010, GAO has made 1,610 recommendations in public reports that address the four cybersecurity challenge areas, which are noted as let's see, establishing a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. We have that. Securing federal systems information. We've sure budgeted for that. Protecting the cybersecurity and critical infrastructure of the United States. We're doing terrible at that. Protecting privacy and sensitive data. Totally lost cause. Let's see. As of May 2024, federal agencies had implemented 1,043 of these recommendations. 567 remain unimplemented. Until these recommendations are fully implemented, federal agencies will be limited in their ability to do stuff. Yeah, there's the actual report. Let's look at the highlights. So you can go down the rabbit hole in this stuff and learn a lot. And you just gotta, kind of get deeper into the mess. YGAO did the study. Challenge 1, 170 of 396 recommendations have not been implemented as of 2024. Challenge 2, securing federal systems and information. 221 of 839 recommendations have not been implemented. Challenge 3, protecting critical infrastructure. 64 of 126 recommendations have not been implemented. And challenge 4, protecting privacy. 112 of 249, so basically half, have not been implemented too. So there you go, doing a super bang up job there. Read this stuff. Like, this is your information. It's my information. They're telling us it's not well put together. All right. This is CRN, the 10 hottest cybersecurity startups of 2025. Let's just bang through these, and none of these are endorsed by me, of course. I'm just looking at them because I think they're interesting. Cynomi. Cynomi provides an automated vCISO platform that aims to offer equivalent capabilities to a GRC tool while also going further and conducting gap analysis. MSP focused. They got $37 million. Okay, all right. Indoor Labs. I'm sure they get sued by George Lucas. Indoor Labs offers an application security platform focused on rapidly identifying, prioritizing, and remediating software vulnerabilities. They got a $93 million Series B. That's a lot of cheddar. Okay, Indoor. Mimic. Mimic offers a SaaS-based ransomware defense platform offering early detection of ransomware. In February, Mimic announced a $50 million Series A. Let's see. All right. So there's Mimic. A couple more here. Mitiga or Mitiga maybe offers a SaaS security platform focused on threat detection as well as threat investigation response. 90% faster than traditional approaches. In January, Mitiga, whatever, announced a $30 million Series B. All right. So they got some new executives and whatever. Let's do just two more. Oligo Security, application detection response platform that aims to deliver enhanced visibility and a better picture of the true security risk of software. Key capabilities include deep inspection and applications at runtime. They got 50 million Series B. And one more, Orchid Security, accelerates the deployment of identity security tools through an orchestration platform powered in large part by LLMs. Reduces the cost of utilizing identity and access management, ultimately serves to cool, good for you guys. But here's like a takeaway on this is I just read, I don't know, 7 of those, and add all that money up. That's a few $100 million. And 2 of those are companies that you that you would get so that you could fix deployment of other fucked up shit within the context of cybersecurity, like tooling on top of tooling on top of tooling. That's the Rick Holland coined term expense in depth. Like that's problem in the market as well. Just to be honest there too. All right. Last couple things. I told you I was going to talk about businesses and whatever. Here's CrowdStrike stuff. This is in Yahoo Finance. Can CrowdStrike stock keep moving higher in 2025? This was why I tell people buy the breach, because they had a breach, they had a dip, and look at this shit. CrowdStrike's all-in-one Falcon cybersecurity platform is increasingly popular for businesses and has substantial long-term growth runway. CrowdStrike stock is trading at a record high, following a 40% gain this year after crashing the internet. Investors hope for a more upside in 2025, might be disappointed, but there's still an opportunity for a long-term horizon. Growing 40% year over year. Investors only taking a longer-term view could still reap benefits. It's a holistic solution. as long as you're not, crashing the internet. Falcon customers continue to expand their cybersecurity spending. It launched a new subscription option in 2023 called Flex, which allows businesses to ship their annual contracted spending among different Falcon modules. How nice of them. In 2020, it ended the fiscal year 2026 first quarter with a record 4.4 billion in ARR. Jesus Christ, which was up 22% over year. Now here's a little bit. That growth has slowed over the last few quarters, mainly because a major Falcon outage on July 19th last year crashed 8.5 million customer computers. Yeah, so there you go. Here's a stock picture. Yeah, I mean, good for those folks, I guess. They're going to keep making money, but does anyone else not see that there's an issue here? Like the fact that they're growing their 4.4 billion ARR, they continue to win, and they also have now released this IT product, which I'll show you right here. Nope, that's not it. Where was it at? Yeah, so here you go. Can Falcon for IT help CrowdStrike expand beyond cybersecurity? CrowdStrike is a leader in cybersecurity, but its latest push into IT operations through Falcon for IT could take the company further. It's a module within its CrowdStrike Falcon platform, leverages AI and real-time insights to help organizations achieve better visibility, 20 pre-built response actions. The platform is already showing early signs of growing adoption in the first quarter of 2026. Management noted that Falcon for IT replaced a legacy endpoint management tool as part of a 9-figure Falcon Flex expansion with a Fortune 100 technology firm. Right. It talks about how they compare to Zscaler, price performance. They're doing better than Palo Alto. They're doing better than their competition straight up there. So, yeah, I mean, just take away the CrowdStrike bashing for a moment, but like, just look at this. Think about this for a second. If a company came along and they did what they did and they had a big time outage that caused billions of dollars worth of damage, and there's been no accountability, no requirement, no public testimony and stuff like that, and the company just keeps on growing, and then, oh, by the way, even though it did crash that stuff, it caused all those problems, and there's a potential problem there, well, we're going to go into IT. So we're beyond security now. We're just going into IT as well on the same platform. And maybe it's the cat's ass, but doesn't this reek of monopoly? Doesn't this, make somebody's hair stand on end? Like, wait, there's a potential issue here with how this is being deployed, and the fact that there's monopolistic stuff going on in the market. For all the new folks that are coming into the market with your, startups, God bless you, good luck to you, because man, these big players just keep gaining and gaining. At the very end, we're going to have like 6 companies that run 80% of IT, or excuse me, cyber, and then the rest of it's going to be just like leftovers for everyone else to suck up. It's troubling. Last article, Final Fantasy shit. Why is that? Oh, that's an ad. Hooray. Whatever. I don't care about Final Fantasy. So KC, Kansas City man hacked computers to pitch for cybersecurity services. Okay. Aggressive business model, bro. A Kansas City man has admitted to infiltrating a nonprofit organization's computer network using sophisticated hacking techniques and what authorities describe as an elaborate scheme to demonstrate cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Okay. Nicholas Michael Closter, 32, pled guilty on Wednesday to federal computer fraud charges. Here's the summary. He hacked a nonprofit's computers. He used boot disks to bypass passwords, assess multiple accounts, and installed VPN for remote access. So yeah, he did it to demonstrate vulnerabilities and pitch his cybersecurity services. So here's how fucked up you are, and pay me and I'll fix it for you. Faces 5 years in prison, $250,000 fine, and mandatory restitution. Let's see. He physically infiltrated the nonprofit's premises, gaining unauthorized access to restricted areas not available to public. Court documents reveal that Closter utilized a boot disk, a specialized storage device. Yep, done that before, containing an operating system that can bypass normal computer startup procedures. He specifically leveraged this boot disk technology to access the computer system through multiple user accounts simultaneously. So obviously there's some scripting going on there, effectively escalating his privileges. By manipulating the system's authentication protocols, Closter, whatever, circumvented existing password requirements. So he did hash manipulation. Following his initial system penetration, he established persistent access by installing a VPN on the compromised system that created a encrypted tunnel that would allow remote access. This is old as time, but it works. There was a backdoor created into the organization's network, federal sentencing. So he's going to federal pound me in the ass prison probably. Under federal cybercrime statutes, Closter faces substantial penalties reflecting the severity of his unauthorized network intrusion. The court may impose 5 years, $250,000 fine, etc. He'll probably plead that down. But yeah, so okay, moral to the story is here, and this is where I like don't do stuff that I can get me in trouble, even though I could. Is don't go off and try and hack people and then sell them your services, because that's number one, super douchey. Number two, it will get you in trouble with the feds, and you will go to federal pound me in the ass prison where people will do bad things to your fanny. So know that it's not a good idea. It's not a good business model. Just don't do it. It's very doable and definitely something that people could get away with, but don't. It ain't worth the risk, man. Anyway, it's almost July 4th. I hope everyone has a safe and happy 4th of July. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. If I can ever be of help, please reach out to me. I work with nonprofits. I don't hack them. So just saying, if I can help a nonprofit, please let me know. And other than that, God bless, stay safe, stay secure. I'll catch you on the next one.